So what causes type 2 diabetes? If you're a type 2 diabetic looking to reverse your condition naturally, then Type Rhino is the channel for you. Give us a subscribe, give this video a like, press that notification bell so you get informed every time we release a video every Monday, 6:30 GMT time. Now, my name is John Collett. And why am I qualified to talk about this? Well, in March 2018, I got diagnosed with type 2 diabetes and I managed to reverse my condition naturally within 6 months. And if I can do it, you can do it too. So what causes type 2 diabetes? There's three main areas that cause type 2 diabetes. One is being overweight. The second is some ladies get it after pregnancy or during pregnancy. And thirdly is if you've got a history of it within your family. So in this video, we're going to cover the first one, being overweight. So how does being overweight cause type 2 diabetes? Well, it's really simple. It's sugar. And don't have to take my word for it. I'm going to stick a link in the description below about a documentary called Sugar the Silent Killer, which was a documentary done by the University of California, and it goes into great detail about why sugar is not a good thing for you. But let me explain to you why we are adding so much more sugar now in our diet, and why diabetes is a modern day illness that didn't come along that much in the past. Let's look at it. In the UK, according to Diabetes UK right now, 4,000 people in the UK get diagnosed with type 2 diabetes every month. According to an article written by a company called Healthline, 29.1 million Americans have it, with 8.1 million Americans not even diagnosed. In Japan, 13.5% of the population has type 2 diabetes or a form of glucose intolerance, glucose being sugar. Okay, and what do all of these countries have in common? Well, quite frankly, the way they eat food and the way they interact has changed dramatically over the years. It used to be, when I was younger, we would eat fresh fruit and vegetables, legumes, meat, fish, nuts, all of those type of things, because that's the type of food that was available. That's all changed now. Our food now, it comes out of a box, it's processed, it's ready cooked. Yeah, we no longer have to cook food. We warm it up. It's a life of convenience, which makes life very, very easy. But to get that food, to manufacture that food, distribute it to the supermarkets, to be put onto the shelf, to us to buy it, to when we cook it, to make sure that that food doesn't go off, they have to stick a preservative in it. And that preservative is sugar. Okay? And so as a result, over the years, our input, our process of sugar has massively increased over the years. And as a result, our body can't cope with that. So why can't our body cope with that? It's really simple. When we stick food into whenever we eat food or drink anything, our body changes that into energy. And our body can absorb energy in two ways, carbohydrates and ketogenic. Now, the majority of us are carb-based. We get our food from carbs, sugar, and all of that type of thing. And what happens when that goes into our body converts all that food into glucose, and then that gets all that sugar basically goes into our bloodstream and into our cells. When those cells get to our pancreas, the pancreas produces something called insulin. That insulin allows then those cells to absorb that food. Now, two things can go wrong here. First of all, the cells just get fed up of dealing with the insulin all the time, and so it just stops listening to the insulin and ignores it, which is called insulin sensitivity. As a result, the cells do not absorb the energy. And then, or the next thing is your body, like any engine, if you like your pancreas, if you consider it an engine, any engine that you overwork, it'll just break down eventually and not produce as much insulin. So these are the things that go wrong. Now, when your cells are full of energy and it doesn't need that energy, our body is very good at changing that energy into fat. And the purpose of doing that is that once your cells have run out of energy, it will burn the fat to get the energy that it needs. So this is really a clever thing that our body does. And it does this over years and years of evolution. You got to remember, this world of convenience, okay, that we live in is a new thing. There was a time where we could only eat certain foods in certain seasons when they were available. So what used to happen during the autumn time and summertime when food was plentiful, we would eat as much food as we could. Our body would store that excess food as fat, and then when we got to the winter and the spring, our body would use those fat reserves when food was less plentiful to give us energy. So actually it's a perfect system that works very well, but just not in our current environment, because we have one other problem in this environment of convenience as well, and that is we don't exercise as much. Okay, so now if we want to have lunch, we can just go to a drive-through. When we come home, we don't have to prepare food, just stick it in, warm it up, and boom, we've got it. It's easy, it's convenient. We don't go shopping anymore down through the town centre to different shops to get our things. We just go to one shop, or we go online and we order it that way. The majority of our entertainment is no longer going to watch the local sports team or taking part in a local sports team. It's on the internet and it's on TV. So our amount of opportunities to burn that excess sugar and that excess food has slowly left us as well. So the good news is that if you find yourself in a situation where you're pre-diabetic or you are a type 2 diabetic, you can change this by changing your food and going back to eating fruits, vegetables, legumes, nuts, meat and fish, natural foods without any processed sugar in it, and exercising on a regular basis 3 to 4 times a week, 30 minutes a day, doing an exercise you enjoy. And if you do those things, I promise you, you can reverse your type 2 diabetes and live a medication-free life. Now I'm going to stick a video up here about what foods you can eat as a type 2 diabetic, and a video about why it's important that you do exercise to help you reverse your type 2 diabetes. But remember, you're not a number. You're a rhino. Now charge.